Darkness has obscured the light we once knew, and death's cold march has scarred this land. But listen well, children of Elendris. Do not weep amidst the rubble, gripped by fear. Gather your blades and rise. Wet them upon these broken stones.
Alrighty, Valara to the rescue. We have a new tactician hero to check out here, and this is gonna be like a little bit of an in-depth guide, but not too crazy where I'm gonna be taking her into like really long fights or anything. We'll be checking out, putting her on the field, moving her around, the new tactical skills that she has. I think it's called displacement, and we'll be doing a few other tests. But anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, so as we always do, we're going to absolutely have to go and check out the hero itself. So let's go take a look at the stats. We have Valara here. She has 16.5k HP, so she's not really a tank. She's not super tanky, a ground unit per se, but she is on a higher scale of HP as well. Attack coming in at 6200, almost 6119. That is pretty good. That is really high attack. Let's see. I would say that for a ground tile unit, or you know, she can actually go on platforms as well. Either way, it is really good. I like the attack number where it's at. She's well-rounded overall. Defense is 1640. That's good. Magic res is at 1418. That's better than 600, what you see in a lot of other heroes. Cost is 17. Block is 0, which is weird. She is kind of a ground unit, so having a block of 0 is odd, but it makes sense when you read her kit. Redeployment time is 60, attack interval is 2.6, attack speed is 100, crit rate, crit damage is 150 and 0, and then we go all the way down the rage regen. We have 14 on auto, 8 on basic attack, and 6 when she is attacked, which is kind of weird, but it seems okay. All right, so she has multi-target attack. She has displacement. This possesses the ability to change own position in battle. She has true damage, always good. She's going to be a supreme arbiter, so that makes sense. I'm assuming radiant erosion. And then she also has invisibility. All right, heading on over to the skills. We're going to have the talent here first. Can be deployed on platform tiles. So you can go on the ground, or she can be deployed on platform tiles. Kind of reminds you of talent in a way, right? When deployed, gains invisibility. You cannot block enemies. This invisibility doesn't have a time on it. It just says it's invisible. When attacking, has a 20% chance to deal 200% AoE damage. So it's going to be off of her basic. Whatever she's doing, she just has a 20% chance to do an extra 200% AoE damage. All direct damage dealt by the hero inflicts slow on enemies and has a 20% chance to additionally inflict 1 stack of radiant erosion. That slow is going to be 25% for 2 seconds. And the radiant erosion is going to be for 10 seconds. Pretty typical radiant erosion ability. Now onto the basic. We have deals 120% AoE damage to the target and their surrounding enemies, hitting up to 5 enemies. We also have Guiding Light. First passive during the ultimate increases the chance to inflict radiant erosion from talent to 40%. That's an extra 20%. Attacking targets inflicted with radiant erosion deals extra 2 damage, equal to 30% attack. The fact that she's doing true damage and has radiant erosion and all these good things like that from the Supreme Arbiters, it's going to be a sure sign that you're going to really want to focus on having really high attack. So you're probably looking at Soulbound Arcana 3 times attack percentage and flat attack being on there as well, or you can go rage regen if you want to move around a lot more. And then on the left side, it's probably going to lean towards Warlord a little bit because you can end up having a higher attack for that true damage. Really depends. Next passive is an auto for 15 seconds called Leap of Faith. Every 15 seconds deals 400% AoE damage to 10 enemy targets in range and knocks background targets while inflicting magic resistance reduction of 30% on them. The talent's radiant erosion is guaranteed to be inflicted. So instead of having a 40% chance, every 15 seconds, she's going to do this, and she's going to have a 100% chance to inflict radiant erosion. And then she's going to be putting up a magic res reduction for 30% for 10 seconds. So it doesn't look as of right now, maybe with some awakenings, but as of just a base hero, she's not going to be able to keep her magic res reduction up full time. I'm going to assume though that this is going to be pretty consistent, minus that 5 to 7 seconds. It's probably where it's going to be with no magic res reduction. And then we're going to go on to the ultimate here. Can choose and move to a deployable tile within 4 tiles. You can kind of see it on the map here. She can just move 4 tiles every direction on the platform, on the ground. Either way you want to do it, just do it. Removes invisibility state. She becomes visible, so that she can be attacked when she moves. Increases attack range and deals 260% AoE damage to 10 enemy targets with each attack, lasting for 20 seconds. Additionally, the talent inflicts an enhanced slow up to 50%. Now it's kind of debatable, like how is this going to work in like GVG? Is she going to be like moving around the map in GVG? I'm not really sure that you're going to want that. I have a feeling that they're going to be kind of useless in GVG because you're not going to be able to control them. We're definitely going to have to check that out in a more in-depth hero testing though. Now they do have a bond skill. Her and Morden have a bond skill with each other. For hers, it's Rays of Dawn. Reduces initial deployment cost by 5. I think that brings that down to, what was it before, 17. That's going to bring it down to 12. That's very nice. Makes it a little bit usable in arena for sure. During the ultimate, if there are no enemy units in range, restores 8% rage every 2 seconds. So if she doesn't have a unit in range and you have her in a spot where you don't really want her, and maybe she's not doing anything for you, you're going to extra 8% rage every 2 seconds, and that's going to make it so she can move around earlier. Alright, she does also have an arena damage increased, so that means that she's probably going to be decent in arena. I'm assuming they kind of intended for her to be useful, especially with that reduced cost. So if you get both of these units, you can place them down in arena and it should be a pretty good time for you. Increases damage in arena by 15%. Under the awakenings. Awakened level 1. When enemies enter attack range, inflicts 1 stack of radiant erosion on them, so they get radiant erosion automatically for coming in the range. Attacking targets inflicted with radiant erosion ignores 25% of the magic resistance. Now she is doing magic damage, so that's going to be a good thing for you and everybody that's doing magic damage around them. Think about like Gear Raid 1. Put her down on the bottom there, next to Ymiric or something like that. If anything comes into her attack range, especially if you move her down there and her ult is going and they start walking in, ignoring the magic resistance for her is going to start happening for 25%. She's going to be doing a lot more damage. It's going to really help out. Awaken level 2 is attack plus 5%. She has a really high attack, so having a 5% boost on her A2 is amazing. Awaken level 3, during the ultimate, becomes immune to the first instance of damage taken. So if she goes into a zone, she's not going to just like immediately just get taken out. She's going to actually have a chance at surviving because the first hit, she's going to survive. After triggering this effect, reduces all damage taken by 50% for 5 seconds. So on top of that, if she does get hit, she's going to be immune to the first hit. After that, she's going to have a 50% damage reduction for 5 seconds, making her, you could probably kind of just like throw her into a flash of mobs and she should be able to survive. It's pretty interesting. Awaken 4 is penetration plus 8%. You know how I feel about that. Every single time we get Awaken 4, we test between the A3 and the A4, and you don't really see much of a difference in a lot of content. It would have to be like really, really high defense opponents. Awaken level 5 deals 20% increased damage to targets inflicted with slow and control effects. So as long as she hits them once, she gets the slow up, and she's going to get 20% increased amount of damage on her awakened level 5. Awesome. Alright, she does have an exclusive artifact, and I do have this on the website if you want to see how this levels up, but I think it goes from AoE damage 20% up to 30 as you go. Dawn Break is the name of the artifact. Increases AoE damage by 30% when the ultimate is activated. Immediately casts Leap of Faith and reduces its cooldown by 5 seconds during the ultimate. What is Leap of Faith? It is the passive here where she's going to inflict a magic res reduction on them, and the talent Radiant Erosion is going to be guaranteed, and she does like 400% AoE damage. So what did it say? When the ultimate is activated. So when you move her, she's going to do the 400% damage. She's going to immediately cast a Leap of Faith, when she arrives in front of their faces. And she's going to have that immunity for the first hit. And for 5 seconds, she's going to have a 50% damage reduction as well. And she's going to reduce the cooldown of Leap of Faith by another 5 seconds as well. So you get within 10 seconds, you should be able to use the Leap of Faith again. I love that artifact. Definitely a top tier artifact. Gonna make a huge difference when you get this. And I believe this is obtainable through the event From Ashes to Ashes when the hero releases. All right, so let's get her out on the field, shall we? All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of testing right here on Guild Boss. This is going to be on normal. So the defenses aren't gonna really matter, but we're also gonna be checking for Infernal Roar. Things like that. Is Infernal Roar gonna work with her when she goes into her ultimate? She can get that increase in damage if we move her around, all kinds of things. So anyways, let's just jump into the fight, place her on the field and see what it looks like, and we'll go from there. I think we should start with her on the ground for sure, making things a lot easier to hopefully view. I'm gonna pause it here. I do want to keep this view, even though it is weird. I want to see her interaction, the way she looks as she's sitting there, if anything happens with the hero as it's sitting on the field. You can just place her right down here even, so that's kind of cool. Just place her wherever you want. Alright, so there she is. Alright, so she's invisible. She's doing about 144k damage. This is with her artifact, Warlord set, and an Infernal Roar set. Just did a big hit. Let's move her over here. There she goes. She's flying over. She's moving, and now she's starting to whack. 369. 316. 311. Alright, so nothing too crazy seems to be happening with her. She did lose her invisibility. It is a Guild Boss. She's going to get hit anyways because it is AoE. You can see that's her pushback that she's doing. She does like this crazy knockback. 2 attacks, 3 attacks, 4, 5. It's supposed to happen every once in a while. I believe that that's a passive that's every 15 seconds. So you can push forward like that. Might be useful in like Gear Dungeon 2, being able to push back those Banshees. I'm not really sure. It could be difficult to make that happen. Especially, well, if I guess you got the A5, you can guarantee you can just move her over there, just like bam, it's done. That being said, you could probably also move her back and forth on Gear Dungeon 2 to try to cover the magic phase or the magic clones coming up from the top, and then switch her back down and take care of the enemies that are on the bottom. I don't know for sure yet. There might be a technique or a way to do that. Alright, let's go ahead and quit the battle and check out her gear and see if I can't break that. We had like 316. We'll break the set and see if that number stays at 316 or if it changes. If it goes lower, then we know that the Infernal Roar is not working. Alright, so let's go check her out. Just to make sure that her gear is... I can show you guys to make sure that her gear is pretty close to matching. We'll just grab a Soulbound Arcana piece, attack, and attack. And you can see she's gaining a little bit of attack there, a little bit less. What do we got here? What do we got? This is probably the closest I'm going to be able to get it, which is pretty close. That is pretty close. Now the set is broken, still about the same stats. They're very, very high. She does have a Warlord set on the left side. Let's place her back on the field. Check her out. I don't know, this hero, I'm trying to think of ways to showcase this hero, but there's probably so many things that we can try, and it's going to be like a long week, I think, just recording all kinds of different ways of using this unit. But for now, let's just try to see how she works. Alright, so let's put it down here. 109, I think that was pretty much the same as it was before. I don't recall. We just need to make her move so I can see. I'm going to put her over here. Pointing to the right. We were popping 316, I think, before. So we're getting 237. We add about 40% on there. It looks like Infernal Roar works just fine on her ultimate. As long as her ultimate works, that's the 364. So that seems to be all basic attack going through there. So Inferno Roar is a good option. Of course, if you're going to move around a lot, Soulbound Arcana can work just as well, or if not better in really long fights. It really depends. But being able to place her down, immediately getting that 40% boost is always a beneficial in certain niche situations. Let's get her off of this field. Let's see how she handles Gear Raid 1, 19, to see just how well she actually does AoE damage. She's not a single target unit really, she's doing mostly AoE. So bringing her into a guild boss is not a very good way of showcasing what she's doing, but we did get to see how she interacts going on the field. Alright, so Gear Raid 1. Let us go to 19. Actually 18 I think is what we always use. Just let her see how she solos. I know she can do it because Maureen can do it. I'm not really worried about whether she's capable of soloing it or not. I just want to see how she reacts with the team. Alright, so we're going to put Praetus as the Lord. We're going to put our new tactician. I want to keep calling them Rook. I'm going to definitely keep calling them Rook. There's no way I'm not going to. We got our Rooks here. Anyways, let's get in there. Your gear storage is full. Make room. Alright, was that a quick cut for you? It was a very, very long gear cleansing for me. Over 4,000 pieces of gear that they sent into the game, and it overloaded it, wouldn't even let me get in the stage. But here we're ready to go. Let's get back in there. It's really a pain in the butt sometimes managing the test servers. It's a lot of work. A lot of people want to have to deal with it, but they don't realize just how much work it actually is. So now she can just kind of sit here, I think, without actually doing anything. She should be able to handle it. Power dominance is off. I'm kind of curious. Is she going to be able to hit the units down here? She can just take care of those one guys. There's that pushback again. Pretty cool. As soon as they get close to the wall, she starts to hit them. Alright. Oops. No Eloin. Sorry. Okay, let's go. Apparently she did a really good job. Alright, let's see how she keeps doing this. I'm kind of just watching and observing. That does a lot of damage when she does that. It is just Gear Raid 118, but I mean, kind of shows. I think she's doing way better than a lot of the other units do that I have seen. I'm gonna try to move her up actually. So let's move her. She can only go this far over. If I put her there, I have to give her a healer. So let's do that. Let's put her there. We'll give her a healer. I'll put Eloin in a range. She's in the ultimate. She's just pounding away at these guys. That was quick. Very, very, very good AoE damage, I must say. And the pushback is going to be super useful as well. Let's move her again. Move her down here. Pushing her up. She should go back. Do her ultimate. Just whack away. We just move her back and forth, up and down the tile. Pretty awesome, guys. Pretty awesome. You see that lightning coming down? I like her. I like her. I'm a huge fan already. Definitely a different kind of unit. But she is changing things for sure. Can I move her over this way? Oh, I was gonna try to catch him. Let me see if I can catch him. I don't know if I can. Nope. I was hoping he'd get over there and get her. She's in the middle. She's like, I'm here. I'm waiting for you. Let's go. Let's go. It is a maxed out artifact and it is very, very godly gear. I mean, it's top end. It's not Wicked Vengeance, Kraken style game. Somebody's been playing for like 2 years, kind of top end, because I was trying to avoid that. I usually do in my test videos to keep things relative to most players the best that I can. So I'm trying to find a sweet spot in the middle. All right, so I think our interaction with a lot of the stages is pretty amazing so far. The way you can move around all over the place. She could actually go in some rage regen pieces because she has a lot of high attack. Her attack is super high, so you could replace that flat attack with rage regen, and then she could just come back to her ultimate so fast that it's unbelievable. Alrighty, and welcome to stage 10 of Gear Dungeon 2. How's she gonna do here? I just want to check to see if we can time her pushback for after the enemy, the little banshee that explodes at the bottom there. See if she can actually handle that, because that could be useful for a lot of people, I think. So I'm gonna put our Actually, I think I'm gonna put Hars down here. I'm gonna go ahead and put her as well. We're gonna put Elowin facing up right here. And then as soon as we can, she should be able to take these guys out. Actually, I wonder if I can just... Well, she didn't even move or offer to move. I was able to just hit it and she was able to do her ultimate, which is very cool. So she's gonna start actually pushing automatically with her ultimate. That should decrease the time. Hopefully, she can get that done. Push, push, push. Perfect. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? I think that's actually pretty great. Wow. I've seen a lot harder things to do with these units down here. Usually it's a nightmare, guys. Let us see, let us see, let us see. She's just wrecking the place. You can move her, or I think you just click on her, right? Yep, you can just click on the ultimate and she'll be doing that. All kinds of damage over here. You can use King Hars. Need to put somebody here. Didn't activate him. It is okay. We're just trying to see how she's handling this down here. That's all we want to see. Looks like she's kind of struggling with these enemies down on the bottom. The magic resistance of those guys sucks. Apparently, it's not so great. You could opt to move her up and then put somebody else down there and then kind of flip-flop them around. It's definitely going to be doable. Guaranteed going to be doable. Just a matter of figuring it out. It's going to work very well. Now, trying to think of anywhere else that I could try to throw her down on the map. If you guys have any ideas as well, just feel free to leave it down in the comment section. I will try them out if it sounds like something that's going to be good. I don't think Gear Dungeon 1 is going to be a great place for her. Gear Raid 3, she can attack units that are flying, but she's not going to be able to really reach. So she could sit in the center there, facing up towards the boss and kind of help out with that, but it's unlikely. Gear Raid 1, I've already kind of showed in stage 18. I do believe that on Gear Raid 21 and higher, she's going to be really, I should say 19 and higher, she's going to be really useful sitting down in these zones and just doing all kinds, just wreaking havoc on everything that's going on. Okay, these enemies are going to be coming in. You know what? Let's go into 19. I'll put Power of Dominance on just so we can see what's going on. I'll put her on the field. I'll add a... We had to have a healer. We had to have our anti-heal as well. So let's get him in some gear. He's kind of in something right now. Attack, speed, invigoration. Just to put him down on the field and see, you know, what she can do all on her own. And then we will check out some of her awakenings after this. I don't want to get hung up too much on just checking her around the field. But I think these three areas are going to be huge for her. Any kind of AoE content, especially like events. There's a lot of events that kind of come out and they're usually pretty cool. Let's see, let's do that. She doesn't really need a healer. Let's put Artemis. I don't know, Artemis has to be closer, so Artemis will go right here. And then we will get... I'm not going to be able to reach with Yao Chen. Beelzebub will be able to reach to help increase that damage. Let us put Elowin here. We'll put Elowin up here. You could actually opt for her to sit up here and then move her back as well. Something to keep in mind. We're gonna wait till these guys get in range here, and I'm gonna put Laurel down to help increase that damage. And then we will activate right now. It's gonna push them off the wall. That's the whole idea, to keep the enemies off the wall, keep the health going, right? We could also even activate Praedyss's, the Praedyss button. That's going to help increase her damage as well. Her ultimate comes back really fast, as you can see. Let us see here, let us see, let us see. She's doing a ton of damage. It is, with Power Dominance on, is something to keep in mind. Her reach, as you can see, when her ultimate is going, is full range up here, like kind of like a marksman. Silas, something like that. Let's see if there's anything else I have. No. Well, Power Dominance on and she's sitting here soloing it. I haven't even activated Artemis yet. I think she just did some damage to the boss. So that looks like that pushback reaches just beyond that tile. Interesting. He seems to handle this just fine, guys. Just fine. There's no... She doesn't have any kind of inspiration buff or anything, and she's doing a ton of damage here. See this hit going in. 227 AoE. It's very, very solid damage. I like it. Wait till these guys in, I'll activate the Praetus button, and then I'll use her skill. We're gonna need a few more enemies to come in though. Alright. Now, let's see what happens. Here she comes. Give him a whack, give him a whack. You should have increased damage from Praetus's Lord skill. Definitely does, right around 700k. With the pushback, it's just super useful, guys. No, look at that. And now she's doing boss damage. You can see she's chunking him out pretty good. It's definitely going to help you in gear grade 22 and up. Definitely. It's definitely going to help you. Grade 1, 22 to 24. Holy cow. It's going to be useful. I don't have a Magda personally, so on my global account. So that being said, being able to pull her and then use her for all that control and pushback, maybe pair her with your mirror down there. He's putting a lot of control and CC effects on there as well. If you have somebody else putting out slows, increases that damage. It's just wild, guys. If you can get that A5 unlocked, oh my gosh. Now let's go see, speaking of awakening, let's go check out those awakenings and see how they interact and how they change her. I'm definitely interested to see that. We'll stick with 18 at this point. I will awaken her. I think most of her awakenings are AoE related, if I remember correctly. When enemies enter attack range, inflicts 1 stack of radiant erosion on them. Attacking targets inflicted with radiant erosion ignores 25% magic resistance. Let's go ahead and do this. We were in like the 300k range, so let's get her awakened to awaken level 1. We're on the field and see how what happens when those enemies walk into her range. Okay. All right, let's get her back on the field. I'm definitely interested in some ideas, right? I want to see, or I want to know what you guys are thinking about this hero. I want to know if there's any kind of like niche situations you may think that she's going to stand out in. There we go. So that enemy should have magic resistance reduction on them. And the ones around shouldn't, that took the splash damage. So you can see they took more damage, right? This one had higher health. This one had a little bit lower health. You see how he's closer to dying? That's from that magic resistance, right? It's pretty useful, I think. As soon as they walk into the range, she just pounds away at them. And then they're done. Perfect. That's all we needed to know. It's working. It's about 25% increase in damage, basically, is what is happening. She can't really not attack within that zone. On bosses, I'm assuming that when they're just standing in front of her, it's not going to just increase magic res reduction on the bosses. I'm just not going to give that debuff to them. Let's check out the Awakening 3, considering that the Awakening 2 is just a stat boost. So we'll get her to 3. It's going to be during the ultimate, becomes immune to the first instance of damage taken. After triggering this effect, reduces all damage by 50% for 5 seconds. Where could we use that? You know, I think I'm going to actually switch it up and bring it into the guild boss for this one test to see if Awaken 3 is working properly. Let's go to guild boss, guild boss, guild boss. Come on now. Get me there, get me there. Alright. We'll go into Nightmare 4. We want to take some damage this time around. We do have Elwyn with, so it should work just fine. Now, what we're gonna do is see how much damage she's taking from the hits as the boss is hitting her, and then we will see. I'll move her essentially after I awaken her. I'll move her essentially and see how much damage she takes then as well. Okay, and she should take a 0 hit, and then she should take 50% less damage for 5 seconds. All right, so let's get her on the field right away. Yeah, we can put her right here. Zero damage there. Is that from just being placed? Does she have a damage reduction? No. You can see. She's invincible right now, guys. It's because she's invisible. Apparently. What? The boss can't target her invisibility? She should be taking AoE damage and it's not even showing the skills for some reason. Hold on a second. Hold on, let me restart and check this out again. We might have figured something out weird here. Invisibility just means you can't be hit. I thought that meant you couldn't be targeted. I think if you splash damage Allura, if she's invisible, I think she still takes damage. I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. Let's see if we can get her to do the hit here. Or get him to do the hit. Okay, he's doing the hit. She's not only invisible, she's invulnerable. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if that's going to stay that way or not. But I need to activate her ultimate to get her to take a hit. So, now she should take some damage. 23.7k damage. That wasn't technically a move. So, let's... Well, I guess that would be technically a move. Let us get her awakened, and then I'll move her a position when I activate her ultimate and see what happens. She took 23.7. Yeah, let's check that out. Be right back. 1 second. Alright, she is now awakened level 3, which means she's going to have that invulnerable hit when she first moves. So she takes 0 damage on the first hit. And then after that, she should take a 50% damage reduction. Let us go in there and see that. I think it's really wild that she can just sit on the field and not take damage at all. I mean, I guess she can't block anything, but that doesn't mean... I should see if that works that same way with Allura or somebody, yeah, anybody else that goes invisible like that, if they just can't take damage. I didn't realize that invisibility just meant no damage, even if it's AoE. But I guess with the boss here, the dragon, he actually does single target damage, so he probably has to target every individual tile as a single target hit. These so-called AoE damage hits, as we found out in recent test videos before, are technically not AoE damage. I think I was actually testing Narissa, trying to reduce the AoE damage, and found out that a lot of the skills the guild boss is using in Nightmare 4 are technically not AoE. So that could be what is actually going on here, that he actually has to target her and she's invisible forever. So she just can't be targeted if she never uses her ultimate. Let's place her down. I will place a healer here, because why not? Isn't going to hurt anything. She can't be targeted. She can't be targeted. 0 damage. Element takes some. Let's move her now. See if she should take 0 damage this time, even though she will be visible. Move her to a platform. So... hit now. She did get targeted. She took 0 damage. You can see her little shield pop there. That's showing that she took 0 damage. She evaded that with her Awaken level 3. And then she should have a reduced amount of damage afterwards. I don't know if it's going to be within 5 seconds though. It looked to be about the same, the 23.7. So 5 seconds isn't really that long. It's hard to actually judge that. I'm going to assume that it's working. I can't really think of a way to catch that any better than what we just did. No. That did work just fine. You use her ultimate, you move her, she takes 0 damage at the time. I mean, you could even like put her in places with Laurel, where you want to just like keep cycling her back and forth, where she's just invisible. I mean, she's invulnerable to an extent, and her health just means that much more with a 50% damage reduction coming in. Let's go check out that Awaken 5, see where we can utilize that and test that out. Alrighty. Miss Valara. Much more than meets the eye. I'll tell you that much right now. Reading this kit, I'm like, yeah, it sounds good. It sounds really good. And now that I'm putting her on the field and using her, I'm just like, it's crazier than I thought. That's all I could say. We do get that penetration. We're not really worried about that. Matters if you have a hard time getting past the defenses or the magic resistance of the enemy that you're fighting. Deals 20% increased damage to targets inflicted with slow. That's going to be a tough one to judge as well. Because she's inflicting slow on her basic attack, right? All direct damage dealt by the hero inflicts slow on enemies and has a 20% chance to inflict Additionally, inflict 1 stack of radiant erosion, so it's gonna have to be the second time. So before I awaken her, what we're gonna do, since the guild boss does take slow, he's not immune to slow. I don't actually know how that works as far as like, it doesn't slow down his skills or anything, but whatever. Let's see here. Let's put her on the field, see what she's doing for damage. I'm gonna put her not right there. I guess I'm gonna put her down here on a platform. I want to see the damage. First hit was 99.5. He does have the slow. She's still doing the 99.5. Nice, I don't have to worry about healing her or anything. She can do more damage than that, by the way. She is in a broken set, just to keep that in mind. Let's get her awakened. She's doing 99.5. Let's see if she gets an extra 20%. That should put her at 120. Like, literally right at 120 with that extra awakening here. And of course, every single damage number that she is doing is going to increase by 20%, so that could obviously increase. If she does like a 600k hit, get an extra, what is it, up to like a 720 to somewhere in 720 and 800k hit or higher per hit. Alright, so she's awakened level 5. She should get that 20% increased damage. The target's effective is slow. Let us put her on field and see what happens. 120k or else. 120k or else. Nah, I'm sure it will work. I'm sure it will work. Alright, so here she comes. The first hit's not going to count because she's going to be actually inflicting the slow. She has to inflict the slow first. So let's get that off. 99.5, 114.5, 114.9. I mean, that's about right. 114.9. We were at 99 something. Doesn't really seem like it's quite 20%, but the damage multipliers and the way the algorithm actually works, the formula works for attacking is very, very odd. So who knows what's going on. Here comes a hit from her push. We see the damage, please. I know it hit you. I know it hit you. Didn't show me. What's the hit behind there? There's the 120. 120. Exactly where it's supposed to be. Up to 200 stuff stacking up, doing some random hits. Yep, we got the 120. We're good to go. She's getting that 20% increase in damage. So it seems like her hit is working exactly as it should. We don't really have a problem with the hero. I don't have to report anything to the devs. Besides how amazing that she is and how much I actually like her. That's all I'm going to report. I don't know. What do you guys think so far? You have any ideas where to place her on the field or what kind of stages to place her in? Or what do you want to see her tested in besides what I've done? She is AoE based, so it is kind of limited what kind of content you're doing. You could take her into something like the Conqueror boss as well. These things are going to be all pretty awesome. She's doing Radiant Erosion, so maybe even Immortal Codex stage. I can't remember what it is, but anyways, the Arbiter of Frost. There we go. The Arbiter of Frost. You can probably bring her in there and do some like decent damage in there as well. I don't think that the Pelagios boss is going to work, or Fierce Torrent is going to work very well, because I don't think she's going to be able to reach. Same problem with like Gear Raid 3. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, if you want to check out these hero guides without my help or somebody else's help, you can go to prospector.gg, search for Valara, and she's going to show up there on the hero guides. As soon as we are allowed to release them on the test server, I'm going to do my best within the next 24 hours to get these heroes released. And shout out to Femscapades. That's a user on Discord that's been helping me out a ton with the website. She worked on the off shift because she's across seas, so we sleep at different times. So she was up and she was able to enter all this heroes information for me, and I was able to go back in there and just clean things up. Gear sets will be added as I test them and release videos. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I've been the Prospector. I hope you liked the video, and until next time, keep digging.